Tonight is all about having some fun and bringing people together who share the love for Arsenal. But if you wanted to get even more involved and closer to the Arsenal Foundation's response to COVID-19 in the UK and overseas, if you're in the UK, you can donate £10 by texting Arsenal 10 to 70211. Each text message will cost £10 plus your standard network rate, or £20 by texting Arsenal 20 to 70211. Each text message will cost £20 plus your standard network rate. 100% of your donation will go to the Arsenal Foundation. For more information and full T's and C's, please go to www.arsenal.com/donate. If you're outside the UK or you wish to donate a little bit more, please also visit www.arsenal.com/donate.
It's a test who we are as a club, so you can make a little difference, do it. You have an idea, put it together.
In good times and in challenging times, the Arsenal family is never far apart, even when we can't be together in the way we want to be.
Are you well, coping with the lockdown?
Not bad, John. How are you coping with it?
Good morning, Madeline. It's Pat Rice here.
Happy birthday from me, my teammates, and all the club.
Oh my God!
Hey, Mike.
Hiya. Hello.
We're all doing our bit to support each other in our own way, the Arsenal way.
Huge thanks, along with the rest of the country, for your services at NHS Nightingale. We're so proud of you all.
All NHS staff, all across the country, who are saving lives, and I just wanted to show my appreciation.
In times like these, it's so important we stay together and reach out to those who need a little help, because together we have the power to do that.
East Lincoln Council and the Arsenal Foundation, they're already doing a great job, and I decided to join them in and help to provide 16,000 meals for people that are struggling.
1.5 million meals that we've redistributed, 10% of them have been from a football club, and you're the football club, and that's really immense.
We stand side by side with our communities around the world, and we'll always find ways to stay connected because we're in this together.
I'm proud to see the Arsenal program in helping building resilience through soccer for kids in slum areas in Jakarta.
We have our legends and our heroes, and now we recognise some more, all selflessly playing the game of your lives, and for that, we salute you. So for now, remember who you are, what you are, and who you represent. And when the time comes for us all to be together again, we'll welcome you home. Because we're Arsenal. Together.
Good evening and welcome to Arsenal Together, which is officially the biggest ever online gathering of players, legends, fans and heroes, all in aid of the incredible work of the Arsenal Foundation. Now, over the next hour or so, I'll be trying to squeeze in as many special guests as possible. And the theme is, do you remember the first time? So we'll be reminiscing about how we fell in love with the club and the first players that made us proud to be Gunners. Now, if you can spare a little money to help the Foundation's vital work in the local community and around the world, please go to arsenal.com/donate. We really appreciate every penny. Okay, let's get started. Let's hope this works. I'm going to put my earphones in. Who do we have first up on Arsenal Together? It's only the scorer of 185 goals in fewer than 300 games. The man responsible for putting a smile on our faces so many times, and he continues to do so as a Gunner for life. The first guest has to be Ian Wright. Ian, thank you so much for joining us and supporting the Arsenal Foundation today. How are you?
It's a pleasure, Matt.
Yeah, you feeling like things are changing a little bit?
Yeah, especially with people announcing that it's coming back.
Yes.
You know, I know how tough that must have been for everybody, simply because of lives being lost. But like they've always said that they're going to bring it back when it is right and safe to do so. So it's giving everybody a lift. I'm getting loads of messages from people because everybody misses football so much.
It's so lovely to have you here. Were you proud to play for a club that did more than just play football, that cares about the local community?
Well, absolutely, yeah. Because until it actually happened, when I went to join Arsenal, remember, like, obviously David Rocastle, who's a dear friend, he always spoke about Arsenal so highly, about how much they look after the community, how much they look after people. How David himself was always one of those people who was constantly looking out for other people in the community. And what Arsenal are doing now, yeah, I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud to be involved with everything what Arsenal do, and all they need to do is ask, and I'm there.
And we're talking today about, do you remember the first time?
Yeah.
So do you remember the moment you became an Arsenal fan?
Well, the moment I became an Arsenal fan was when David Rocastle signed as a youth team player from Brockley, South East London. Is something that, to us, it was like somebody landing on the moon. Little old Brockley in South East London's got a player that's playing for that might be able to go on and play for the great Arsenal. So from then on, everybody, we're talking like 82, 83, everybody started to support Arsenal on our estate. But my real first proper, like, hey man, look at that, was Charlie George celebration, the lying down. It was like, that was the first time you'd seen, for me, seeing somebody do something other than just put your arm up or something.
It's a huge goal for the club, you know.
Yeah.
It's the goal that clinched the first double.
FA Cup,
yes.
the double.
Actually, as part of the plan to raise money for the foundation's work, we're asking people to recreate classic goals and then donate a little bit of money. And I think that would be a really good goal to recreate, actually, because it involves lying down, and we all like lying down. But we need one of yours. We need a classic Wrighty goal to recreate. The Everton one?
I'd love to see people try and recreate that one, but it makes me smile simply because it was one of those goals that when I was younger, my teacher always used to say, try and score beautiful goals. It was a goal I didn't know was coming. As the ball came over, Matt, all I wanted to do was try to keep the momentum, or to maybe lay it off. But then I saw the defender. It's the best goal I've ever scored.
Do you celebrate wildly when your children score?
Yeah,
you do.
It was when I used to play. It was about the celebration, especially when we started to see a lot of stuff from South America. There was a lot of passion and a lot of emotion in the celebration. So it was the celebration was everything when I was younger, when I was playing. But when we went to school, Matt, you weren't allowed to celebrate. When I went to my school, Samuel Pepys, you weren't allowed to actually celebrate. Mr. McCarthy just said it's not in keeping with the game. It's not gentlemanly like.
I once got invited to watch a match in the director's box, and Arsenal playing Liverpool. They won 2-0. And I didn't realise that it's not the done thing in the director's box to get too exuberant. And when Arsenal scored, I went, yeah, like that. And I looked around and thought, I'm the only person doing this.
Yeah,
and
you're not going to do that.
No, and I wrote a letter of apology to Ivan Gasitis afterwards. I thought, I don't want to upset anybody.
Which is ridiculous. It's ridiculous, Matt, because...
No, that was me. But he replied saying, oh, no, it was great. I wanted to ask you, your grandson recently scored an amazing goal that knocked Arsenal out of the FA Youth Cup. Did you cheer that one?
Well, to be honest, it's like I remember watching Sean score a goal at Highbury against Arsenal. You can't help it. You know, he scored, it's my son. And you naturally just go, yes, but I'm only saying yes for him. But when my grandson scored it, I'm excited for him because he's still on the way up. He's working really hard. I just love seeing scoring goals.
Thank you so much, Ian.
Pleasure, Matt.
For joining us. It's a wonderful way to kick off the show. Lots of love, Ian. Thank you so much.
Bless, Matt. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
What a pleasure now to be joined by not only one of the greatest players at Arsenal, but I think one of the funniest, one of the most charismatic players. Let's go and say hello to Hector Bellerin. Hey, Hector, how you doing?
I'm all good, my man. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Look at your short back and sides that you've got there.
Look at that. I got the buzz cut not long ago. I need a new trim for the quarantine. Yeah, it's good. Enjoying it.
I don't ever remember you ever having hair as short as that.
Nah, it's the first time ever. Even when I was young, I had very big ears, so I would never do that. So
how has it been during lockdown for you?
Well, I have to say I've been binging a lot on Little Britain.
Have you?
During this time, yeah.
Do you know, years ago, I met when they played for Arsenal, Cesc Fabregas and Philip Senderos, and they were living together at the time. They were both quite young, and they said that they had learnt English through watching Little Britain.
Really?
Yeah, which is not. I don't think I said.
It's a good program to learn English. I think. I wish I did that back in the day.
Yeah, and you know how to say in English, basically. Yeah, and no, but yeah, but. Well, thank you for. What else have you been watching?
We've been training a lot, even from home, since the start of the lockdown. And yeah, I've been reading a lot. I've been studying a little bit.
It's interesting, isn't it? I was saying to people, you know, because obviously there were so many negative things about lockdown. You know, there was a lot of fear and a lot of restrictions. But I kept saying to people, we'll never get this time again. We'll never get this time again. And I know people who've learnt the piano or they've been practicing another language. As for me, I've just been mainly singing about a potato, but other people have been spending their time really wisely. What goes on in those team Zoom meetings? Who are the people that are most technically proficient? Are there any players that don't even know how to turn their computers on?
Well, I mean, the thing is, it's been like 2 months of lockdown. So from the first meeting to the next one, I think like everyone is a Zoom professional kind of thing now. We've used this time a lot to improve tactically. And not just by practicing on the pitch, but by watching videos, analyzing and all this stuff, which has been great. So yeah, I mean, I've had like a meeting a day almost every day, you know, so it's been cool. It's been cool. I feel like somehow like a businessman or something, you know, I'm always in meetings and doing all these things.
It has definitely changed how we're living, and in some ways I hope it's for the better. I hope we value the experiences that we have with each other in person more and spend less time on our phones when we're with each other. That's my pledge for a new tomorrow, Hector.
Come on
let's do it. Now listen, before we go, what's your first memory of Arsenal?
Well, my first memory at Arsenal was always playing with them on PlayStation when I was really young, but also when I was
chose them as you chose them as your team.
So you know, they used to have Thierry and Pires and stuff. So I used to play with them quite a lot actually. Yeah. Walcott was really fast in the game.
Yeah.
So
not as well. Hang on a minute, but you're one of the fastest footballers in the world.
Wow. Yeah, I hope so.
That's what it says on Wikipedia.
We did had some like speed tests back in the day, and me and Theo, we always used to be at the top together. And I used to love like the banter that we used to have with each other, because I know it used to get him angry a little bit. The fact that I kind of dethroned him at some point.
It takes a lot to wind him up. He's very calm, so it's good that you got under his skin.
The best memory was when I first I was playing for Barcelona, and I got called by Arsenal saying, you want to come here for a weekend and check all the facilities and stuff. And I saw Arsenal beat Man United at the Emirates. It must have been May 2011. And just the atmosphere, I remember it was a sunny day, 3:00 kickoff. That was a great experience. And I remember I went to the airport straight after the game, and I had to choose whether I come to Arsenal or not. And before I even touched into Barcelona, I remember I told my parents, like, I'm coming here. This is where I need to be. So yeah, that was a great experience. My first time watching Arsenal at the Emirates.
And your first time playing for them?
The first time playing for them was Brom away. And actually, I came on for Mikel Arteta that came off injured. So, and I came on as centre mid. And I remember Arsene Wenger saying, Hector, you're playing as centre mid. And I was like, excuse me? And yeah, I mean, he just told me, sit in front of the defence, just listen to them, what they're saying. And when you have the ball, just make sure you don't lose it. And well, I tried to do that pretty well. And then we went into penalties and we won. So, first game, first win. So it was a great start to my Arsenal career.
Well, thank you so much for making that decision to come to Arsenal, because
I'm grateful I did as well.
Yeah, and you've given us fans so much to cheer about over the years, and I know you're going to do the same going forward. Good luck against Man City. Fingers crossed. Good luck for the rest of the season. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope one day we get to meet in person.
For sure. Yeah, me too.
You can do some Little Britain impressions for me when we meet.
All right, I will. I got some in the locker.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Hector.
Take care.
If you've just joined us, hello. This is Arsenal Together, the biggest ever online gathering of the Arsenal family, all in honour of the Arsenal Foundation. And the theme is, do you remember the first time? So I'm asking players, legends, fans, and local heroes what they remember of the first games and players that they ever saw that led them to love the club. And let's see who's on the line now. It is Arsenal England and TV legend Alex Scott. Hello, Alex. How are you?
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. How has your lockdown been?
To be honest, like I think everyone's gone through like the roller coaster of it, having those great days where you feel like you're going to achieve so much. I've been learning Spanish, playing the guitar and setting myself tasks. And then some days you have those lulls where you have to try and pull yourself out of it. But I feel like everyone's had those kind of experiences.
It must be quite difficult to be sort of confined.
Yeah, I think from, the age of 8 when I signed for Arsenal, I've always been, no, I need to go and train. I'm here. I'm so busy. So actually, I feel like I've actually learned a lot about myself.
And now you are an Arsenal Foundation ambassador. You've been to Iraq. Tell me about that.
Those trips for me was magical. The first one I went to Iraq, and I just always remember going there and then everyone running up to me, the kids and the families. And Matt, it was really like they wanted to give me everything when they have nothing, but they just wanted to give me everything. And it was the most humbling, unique experience that I will never, ever forget. And I remember just smiling my whole experience there. And the only time it really hit me was when I was leaving. And that's when it realised, it sunk in that actually I'm getting on a plane back to England.
Yeah.
And they don't know if they're ever going to leave where they are. And it was just the most humbling experience.
Now, we're talking today about remembering the first time. What are your first memories of Arsenal?
I think for me, it was my first going into Highbury when I got signed for Arsenal, but then actually like that first training experience. And straight away, for me, it felt like home. Going into the gates at Highbury, we used to train in the JVC Centre, which was like this massive indoor football pitch. But
I played in there.
Did you?
I played in it. Yeah, it's weird, but I was at, so in my class at school was Darren Dean, who was the son of David Dean, the former vice chairman. And Darren had a birthday party in the JVC Centre. So I played on the AstroTurf. Now, when I say I played, I mean, I'm a terrible, terrible, terrible footballer. I mean, terrible. And I'm obviously overweight. I've got asthma. I always used to get put in goal. And I once saved an amazing shot in goal at school, only because I was waving at a passerby. I wasn't paying any attention to the match. But it's famously remembered that I went, oh, hi, like that. And I just had my hand up and saved it. And that was it.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your favourite memory of playing for Arsenal?
Do you know what? I kind of feel lucky because with the women's team, we did go on to achieve and win so much. But my standout memory was finally playing at Wembley in the FA Cup final with Arsenal. Like I played there for England and in the Olympics with Team GB. But finally to do it in the Arsenal kit and go up and collect that FA Cup, walk the Wembley stairs in the team that I've been a part of, that's been my family since I was 8. I actually got really emotional. I remember crying like a baby. So I was just like, it's finally happened.
Well, thank you for everything that you've given to the club and still continue to give, and for all your work that you've done and continue to do for the foundation. Okay, I'm hoping there's another member of the Arsenal family waiting on the line about to join me. There is. It's huge Gooner and star of one of the biggest TV shows of all time, Game of Thrones. It's Theon Greyjoy, or as I know him, little Alfie Allen. Alfie, hello.
Hello, Matt. How are you?
All right, thank you. Lovely, lovely, lovely to see you. You know, Alfie, we are talking today about the first time. Do you remember the first time you went to see Arsenal? Was I involved in the first time you went to see Arsenal?
You may have been, yeah, definitely. I think because I didn't have, later on in my life, I was very lucky to be able to get a season ticket for Highbury, but I didn't have one at that point. So it must have been, one of my first games. We went to the FA Cup final together, I think. It was 97, 98, is that right?
That's right, yes. The game against Newcastle. So we should just explain this. So I was working for your father, Keith Allen. I'd done co-written a TV show that was made by his company. A day or two, or maybe even the evening before the cup final, your father managed to get a pair of tickets. But the deal was I could have this pair of tickets to go and watch Arsenal hopefully clinch the double, which of course they did against Newcastle 2-0, as long as I took his son Alfie with me. That was the deal we struck, and I was very happy to do that. And we had a lovely day out. Of course,
it was great. It was brilliant. Yeah, it was brilliant. I remember one of my sort of most vivid memories of it was Ian Wright. I remember that he hit the crossbar. He got a crossbar challenge. He got it just as before the kickoff, and so I remember that happened. And he kind of turned around to the whole stadium and was just like, "Yeah, I hit the crossbar." But he was, he's one of my heroes. But yes, that was definitely one of my earliest memories.
Am I right in thinking that the most nervous you ever get is when watching an Arsenal match? That's what you said.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I get very nervous in Zoom meetings and Arsenal matches. But I'm just keeping busy, just sort of growing vegetables and trying to sort of insert some spontaneity into my days and not get too, but also keep some kind of routine. I just think it's very healthy to do that, and also trying to eat healthily, I think, is very important when you're not really doing much.
Yes, it's really important, and I need to take note of that because I have ballooned so much in lockdown that I actually nearly couldn't fit onto this Zoom call.
I mean, I'm still snacking and I'm eating, rich foods, but just not as much as I was.
No, if you're feeling peckish, just have a bit of dust. That's my advice.
Yeah, have a bit of dust. Exactly.
Have a bit of
lettuce
dust.
Leaves. Yeah.
Alfie, thanks for joining us. Up the Gunners.
Up the Gunners.
Hope to see you at the Emirates at some point.
I'll DM you, bro, and yeah, let's honestly link up again. It'd be lovely.
Yes, please slide into my DMs. I would love.
I will.
I'll see you later, Alfie. Lovely to see you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Laura Woods, and I first fell in love with Arsenal when I was a little girl. The first time I remember them on TV, we were playing Newcastle, and I remember that day, the team in particular wearing the same shirt that I had. It was baggy, big white arms, JVC, and that moment when they went up to lift the FA Cup and it was Tony Adams, David Seaman just next to him, and the feeling that I still get from them is the sense of family that will never leave.
Hi Matt! Hi Arsenal Foundation and Arsenal family.
We are the Arsenal Thessaloniki Supporters Club, and it's Arsenal! Arsenal FC! We are far the greatest team the world has ever seen.
Okay, so before the next guest, I want to check in on one of my favourite people on the internet. I'm sure you've heard of her. It's Grime Gran. Now, she's in her 80s and was mainly known for interviewing rappers, but since lockdown, she's been doing some amazing videos putting the world to rights. What's even better is that she's a big Arsenal fan, and so is her whole family. So let's see what she's up to. Hello, Mrs. Grime Gran, how are you?
Hello, Matt, darling, and how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Usually I say, oh, it's just nice to get out of the house, but obviously I haven't been getting out of the house very much.
No, as none of us, Matt.
No, although I hear you've been a bit peeved about the people that aren't sticking to the advice about staying indoors. Is that right?
Oh, I've been quite a bit peeved, Matt. Now, look, you should be behaving yourself. Look after your community.
Yes.
Just like the Arsenal does.
That's right. That's right. You're a bit of an Arsenal fan. Is that right?
Well, I've had to be, Matt. My husband was. Now my two grandsons are. So it's, all the family are.
Do you remember the first game you ever saw?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you, Matt. I don't remember much about the game, but I do remember Charlie George with a lovely long hair. But now we've got Ozil and Pepe. Here, Matt, what about that new manager? Oh,
you like him?
My God.
You think he's a bit dishy, do you?
Oh, very dishy, Matt, very. Oh, not half.
It was a bit scary when we heard he had COVID.
Oh, yeah. But thank God he's all right now, isn't he?
He's all right now. Now, I heard a rumour that since lockdown started, you've had a great-grandchild. Is that right?
Oh, Matt, I've got the most adorable great-granddaughter who I haven't been able to get hold of yet and cuddle and kiss her, which I'm going to do. And guess what, Matt? Her name is Red, after Arsenal, and her middle name is, guess what? Mesut, after Ozil.
Really?
Yes, yes.
Wow. Wow.
How about that?
What would you do if Mesut Ozil signs for Tottenham next week?
Don't tell me that, Matt. Don't tell me that, because I'll have to get on my broomstick and find him.
He better, Mesut, you better stay a Gooner for life. You do not want to get on the bad side of Grime Gran, I think. So you've been keeping busy. Obviously, you've been indoors during lockdown. What have you been doing? Have you been cleaning? Have you been cooking? What have you been doing?
I don't do much cooking now because I've got a bit of arthritis.
Right.
But I poodle about, and I've done loads of reading, Matt, loads, and loads of television. And, you know, now and again I make a few cakes. Now, I've got all the stuff here all ready, and I'm going to make a few cakes.
What are you going to make? Are you going to make
Surprise
you're going to make some surprise cakes, especially for this?
Yes.
For this show.
And, yes, and when they're out the oven, I'm going to give you a bell.
Lovely. Can't wait. Can't wait.
All
We'll catch
right,
up with you
my
later
darling.
on.
Speak to you later.
See you shortly. Lots of love.
Lots of love.
Okay, let's talk to another Gooner. So, who saw this tweet of an absolute hero NHS worker in bespoke Arsenal scrubs? I saw this. I thought we have to get her on the show. Jane, are you there?
I am. I'm here.
Hi, Jane. How are you? Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks.
So what have you been doing during the pandemic?
Just your normal working. Just working like a normal person, doing a normal job.
And where are you based?
I'm based in the local hospital in the operating theatres.
And how did you get these Arsenal scrubs?
Well, you see, normally we wear like raspberry scrubs, but with this pandemic going on, all the raspberry scrubs were all just going AWOL. So a bunch of people, no idea who they are, they've all got together and they've all made all these different scrubs up. One of my workmates, she went to the linen room where we get our scrubs from, and there was a bag there with my name on it. And she brought it back, and they just fit perfectly. The right length, everything.
Do you know where they came from?
No idea. No idea whatsoever.
But it's from someone who knew you're a Gooner.
Well, obviously somebody, or unless somebody in the linen room knew I was and just parceled them up, I really don't know.
And how does someone from Lincolnshire become a Gooner?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I didn't used to do football at all. My late partner was a massive Gooner.
Right.
He got me into it, and a couple of times, you know, he'd say, "Do you want to come matches?" And I go, "No." Anyway, one day I relented, and off we trotted to Highbury. Brilliant. The atmosphere was absolutely amazing, and I just took it from there, really.
Thank you so much, Jane, for joining us today. Thanks for the incredible work you've been doing as well. And up the Arsenal.
Up the Arsenal.
So we've been hearing what people have been up to during the pandemic. I'll tell you a bit about what I've been up to during the pandemic. I rewrote the lyrics to an old song that I did about 20 years ago called Thank You Baked Potato. I did it on Shooting Stars. And here's the baked potato. There it is. And the new lyrics were some do's and don'ts of what you should and shouldn't do in a pandemic. And the song kind of took off. We released it as a single and as a book. And all the proceeds have gone to Feed NHS, which has been delivering hot, nutritious meals to critical care workers in hospitals around the UK, because obviously restaurants were closed and cafes, and it's not easy to get into the supermarkets. And to help keep the song alive, I've been doing some duets on YouTube and Twitter with various people, Brian May and Gary Barlow and loads of amazing people. But none of my duets are as amazing as this.
Whoa! Come on, you Reds! The greatest back four in global football history are joining me today. Baked potato changed my life. Baked potato showed me the way. If you want to know what is wrong from right, you must listen to what potatoes say. Wash your hands, stay indoors.
Thank you, baked potato.
Only visit grocery stores.
Thank you, baked potato.
And if you want to have a better day, you must listen to what the baked potatoes say. Keep your distance, make some space.
Thank you, baked potato.
Remember not to touch your face.
Thank you, baked potato.
And if you want to have a better day, you must listen to what the baked potatoes say. B-A-K-E-T-P-O-T-A-T-O. Up the Arsenal.
Offside! Offside!
It's totally out of order. I thought I was in the back four. There's
I
the
love it,
evidence.
Martin.
And David Seaman.
Love
Never
that.
Thank you, Lee, so much for helping me put that together. That was a dream come true. Thank you, Martin, for being so game.
No problem.
And David, you got a mention there too. And thank you all so much for joining me today. How have you been in the pandemic, David? How have you been keeping?
Yeah, I've been practicing my golf swing and looking at a river that I can't fish. So
I was going to say, have you not been able to go fishing?
No, because it's out of season. So it starts on
How's
June.
your luck? How's your luck? There's a pandemic and it's out of season.
It was nice in the Premier League to start on the 17th, just so you get the season started on the 16th.
Yes. And Lee, what have you been doing?
I've been well, not as busy as you because you're on everything. Every time I turn social media on, you're just raising millions for charity, which is brilliant, and you've done an amazing job. But I've had bits and bobs to do.
Martin, how have you been keeping busy?
I've watched loads of German football before it started to get a handle of it. It's a really good league, a good competition, and I commend them actually for the way that they've set up their league and got on with it, showing the way really. And let's hope the Premier League follows on nicely from that.
Now, David, you actually had some plans that were cancelled. You do a lot of work with the Arsenal Foundation. I mean, you all do actually. And David, you were going to go to Jordan, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. We're supposed to be doing a trek to Jordan, going to see Pets and things like that. You know, it's going to be about a 4 or 5 day trek. And that was something I was really looking forward to, but it's not been cancelled. It's been postponed to next year. So, you know, hopefully that will happen. And it's just something that I'm really looking forward to.
What I can't understand is I can't get him to walk around the golf course without going on a buggy, but he's going to walk to Jordan. I can't believe it.
You certainly won't be able to with that dodgy knee.
You're taking the fishing rod, Dave.
Exactly.
You're taking the fishing rod with you.
Totally, yeah.
The theme of this evening has been, do you remember the first time? That is the first time you played for Arsenal, or the first time you went to watch Arsenal play, or even realised that you supported them. David, what's your first time?
My first time would be away at Wimbledon. My first game in the league. You know, after all that had gone on with the transfer fee, with me replacing John Luke, who was obviously a fan's favourite. You know, the pressure was really on me, and
it was on pressure. I was at Highbury when John Lukic was still at Arsenal and had obviously won the league the season before. And there were lots of rumours swirling that you were going to come and replace him in the team. And I was one of tens of thousands of people who chanted, "You'll never play for Arsenal." When you came to play.
Matt, you started the song "Lukic is better than Seaman," didn't you?
We all agree. No, and I was one of those because John Lukic was a tough act to follow.
Yeah. You know, that's why the pressure was on me, you know, and then to go away at Wimbledon, I was thinking, anywhere but Wimbledon, because as a goalkeeper, you know, you're going to get really tested there, but had a good game. We won 3-0, and that obviously went on into my first season to win the league and only letting 18 goals, you know, so it was a fantastic start for me.
Do you have a favourite save? You know, I talked to you once before about what I think is your best save at Arsenal. I don't know if you can remember, but it probably is your favourite save, isn't it?
What, the Sheffield United?
the Sheffield United superhuman save in the FA Cup.
Yeah, that's, it's obviously, it was a great time for me to do it because we were under pressure. And I was 39 as well when I made that save, and a lot of people were saying that I was past it. It's just nice to prove people wrong. Leave it, you two.
Martin, what's the moment you became a Gooner? What's your first time? Because you were at the club from a young age, weren't you?
So, I think if you come through the ranks of the football club and you come through the youth team and then you're desperate to get in the first team. So when that finally happens, that was a great moment. That was a West Bromwich Albion away. That would have been in the season of 85, 86. It's a long time back. But that was a great occasion for me. But what was really special was that there was lots of youth team players, lots of colleagues getting into the first team at the same time. So it just sort of felt an extension of what I was used to. David Rocastle was playing at that point. Tony Adams, of course, had come in.
How was it for you, having come through the ranks with those players? And obviously, in hindsight, you came back to Arsenal, but you were not at the club. That was you had 2 spells at Arsenal, and you were not at the club in '89.
Yeah,
right. Or maybe not. No, or 91.
No, it wasn't.
How did it feel watching all your friends win 2 league titles? Because you probably
bittersweet, really. It was bittersweet because I was pleased for them, but I'm happy that I wasn't actually there myself.
Lee, I chanced upon a diary that I kept briefly when I was about 12 or 13 in a filofax. I used to type onto filofax paper for about 9 or 10 months. I kept a diary. And on the day you were signed, I think I was 12 or 13. Can you remember what year you signed for Arsenal?
88.
88. So I would have been 14. And I wrote, today Arsenal signed a player called Lee Dixon. Should have been Kerry.
You see, you're working in the media already back then.
You see, and I'm 14. A populist. Yeah. But what's your first memory of Arsenal?
The first time that I heard the name Arsenal linked with me, I was in Mick Mills's office on a Tuesday morning. He was my manager at Stoke. He called me, and I knew there was interest from a few clubs. And he sat me down. He said, "Right, you're off to Arsenal." And I said, "When?" And he went, "We've just accepted an offer." And I literally, the blood drained from my face because I thought, there's no way in a million years I can go and play in the first division for Arsenal because they're so much better than I am. And I've always had a thing in like a little insecure kind of person inside my chest that's always gone, someone's going to tap you on the shoulder in a minute and say, "Come on, you've won the competition, but you've got to get off the pitch now." And I think that's what drove me forward and kind of kept me going.
Thank you all so much for coming on the show. It's been lovely to see you, and stay well and stay safe. And I know on behalf of the Arsenal Foundation, thank you for the amazing work you've been doing.
Thank you, Matt.
See you again soon.
Thank you to you too. Thank you, mate.
Bye-bye.
See you, mate.
Okay, it's time for another special guest, and I'm delighted to welcome esteemed TV and radio presenter and Arsenal podcaster Dermot O'Leary to tell us about his first time. Hi, Dermot. How are you?
How are you, buddy? Nice. Finally, I get a chance to do baked potato. Stay indoors and Marjorie Dawes. Thank you, baked potato.
And for the first time, I think I'm interviewing you. I think it's usually the other way around.
That's quite disconcerting.
So now we're talking about, do you remember the first time? And do you remember the moment where it clicked for you being an Arsenal fan? Do you remember when you first went to Highbury?
So my parents came over from Ireland in the late 60s. They obviously settled in London. All the Irish were around the 3 sort of big enclaves of Holloway Road, Camden and Kilburn. Then you had that great vintage of Arsenal players. So you had Pat Rice, then sort of you had O'Leary coming to the start of his career in '79. And then you have Brady, I think it's probably top 3 players ever to play for Arsenal.
Frank Stapleton,
exactly.
Yeah.
So it became, I mean, Arsenal's always had a big Irish following in London, but it became, not necessarily for my family, but for me, something that I could sort of cling on to with my identity. And because we were living in Colchester, we never, I didn't have any family tied to being in Colchester. So I ended up, we were back in London every sort of 2 weeks. So Arsenal very early became my team. And so my first game was the 1978 Cup final. I remember very, very vaguely.
Even though Arsenal lost, that your support didn't waver at that.
Well, I've always been, that made me love them more. and I've always been. That's always. I don't know what that is, but that's all. I've never really been a glory hunter. I've always like found far more in common and far more empathy with a loser than the winner.
Well, that's actually a very English thing.
Yeah, it's a very Irish thing as well, the kind of the plucky loser thing. So the next year we won that incredible cup final against Manchester United.
Yes.
The 5-minute final. So that kind of cemented it for me.
So let's do a quick fire questionnaire to test your allegiances and your knowledge of Arsenal. Here we go. It's very simple.
Yeah.
Okay, winning the league at White Hart Lane, winning it at Anfield, or winning it at Old Trafford?
Oh man, that's so hard because winning at Old Trafford was so special. But I have to say Liverpool, because I think Liverpool's the greatest end to a season of all time.
Bergkamp's impossible goal at Newcastle, Wilshere's tiki-taka team goal against Norwich, or Giroud's scorpion kick versus Palace?
Tiki-taka, Jack Wilshere.
Interesting. Young gunner, Saka, Martinelli, or Guendouzi?
I'm obsessed with Saka. I really love where we are right now. I love the fact we've got these like really seasoned pros. I know some of them will go on and will sell and blah, blah. You know, that's just the way of the world. But I love the fact we've got this. I love the Willocks and the Maitland-Niles and the Martinellis and the Sakas of the world coming up. I think it's really, really important.
Good luck with your baby and hopefully see you soon.
Yeah, you too, mate. Lovely to see you.
Lots of love.
Bye.
See you later. Bye-bye. Kissing the badge. He'll sign for Aston Villa next week. That's what they do after they kiss the badge. See you later. Okay, next up on Arsenal Together to tell us about their Arsenal first times, we have one of the most successful British artists of the century. It's Tinie Tempah. How are you?
Mr. Matt L.
Now, tell me about your first Arsenal memory.
So my first Arsenal memory, I guess, just being like young black boy growing up in London. That was one of the first real teams that I think, you know, confidently and openly, in my knowledge anyway, like championed black players. So I remember just Ian Wright being a real big figure in my youth.
So do you have a favourite Arsenal player of all time?
Oh, okay. So I am going to personally say the person that was polarizing for me, like, would have been maybe Thierry Henry or Patrick Vieira. And like I said, I guess Ian Wright was kind of that legend. He was like British and everyone identified with him. But I think as the team started to get a bit more fancy, you had this kind of like French, like this influx of just amazing French talent. And yeah, I think Thierry Henry or Patrick Vieira were definitely very polarizing to me. They were probably my favorite players.
You know, I have a happy memory of Patrick Vieira, which is going to Highbury on a Sunday and watching Arsenal beat Chelsea in a high octane match with Patrick Vieira scoring.
Sick.
And then I came home. I was living on West End Lane in West Hampstead.
Yeah.
And I got home probably, I don't know, I would have got home about 7 o'clock. And I put my stuff down. And then I went to, there's a Nando's had just opened on the
in West Ham
Lane.
Yeah, I know.
The West Hampstead Nando's. And I went in there and I ordered some chicken for me and my partner. And I just kind of was waiting for the chicken. And I turned to my right and there was Patrick Vieira next to me.
It's so funny you say this. Go on, I'm listening.
Yeah. And the thing is that when I remember seeing my mum not long after and I'd put on quite a lot of weight. And she says, "You're eating too much Nando's." And I said, "Well, I'm sorry. It's the diet of champions."
If it's good enough for Patrick Vieira, it's good enough for Matt Lucas.
I remember once getting into a lift in a hotel and Sol Campbell was in the lift and I was with my late partner, Kevin.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, hey, Sol, how are you?" And we had a little chat. And then Sol got out of the lift and I said to Kevin, I said, "That was good. I was cool. Right?" And he went, "No."
I've met Sol Campbell twice actually. But I'm just really like impressed with him, obviously, because, you know, great England player. And also, I don't know how much you know about this, but I'm so big on property. And I don't know if this is true, but when I was growing up, they always used to say that Robbie Fowler and Sol Campbell were like the biggest like property magnates in the country from football, like in the area of football. So again, just a young black boy just growing up, I always just thought like, oh, this guy's really smart and he's clever. So I remember I met him in like like, so I think it was in the Grosvenor somewhere, but I was doing one of these big functions and he was there, and I just went up to him and I was like, bro, you're just a legend. So I was definitely not cooler than you, but I think in the end, based on what Kevin said, I think it may have been like that.
Thank you so much for joining us. Keep supporting the Arsenal. Well, I know you will. Lots of love. Okay, back to Arsenal heroes, and I believe we have Lucy on the line, who works for the NHS. Hello, Lucy. How are you?
Hi, Matt. I'm good, thank you. Very good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Now, you are a neurophysiotherapist. You work with people usually who've had strokes, but you've been drafted into the intensive care unit when COVID-19 hit. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. So I work at one of the busiest hospitals that was affected by the COVID, and so they need volunteers of people to be redeployed into intensive care. And because as a physio, our skills are quite transferable, and I'd worked in intensive care before, I thought, well, I'll volunteer to do it. So there was quite a few of us, different therapists that volunteered, and we went into intensive care, and we basically worked as kind of support nurses.
Now, we are just beginning to relax lockdown a little bit. The football's starting again, of course, which we're all thrilled about. And the rules are changing, of course, in terms of where we can meet, how many people we can meet at the same time, etc. What do people need to do going forward to avoid this situation happening again?
You say we're over it. It's still very present in the hospitals. It's not as busy, but it's still very present, and we're still feeling the effects of it, not just in intensive care, but on the wards as well. So we're over the peak, but the last thing we need is for people to go out and just begin their lives as they were before. I think, the government are right. We've got to keep our distance. And I would just say to people, if possible, just be sensible. People need to see friends, families. That, I do as well. And that's really important for our mental health as well. But just kind of keep it as minimal as possible.
Yeah, and people's evenings are going to be full up now anyway, watching football.
I'm so excited. Can't wait till it's back.
Are you? Our first match back is against Man City. How do you think that's going to play out?
It's difficult to know how this is going to affect every single team, like players individually and then teams as a whole. I'm really hoping they'll group together as the Gunners and go out hard, really.
I just want to remind the viewers that Lucy is, of course, an Arsenal hero, and you can nominate your own everyday Arsenal hero, and you need to use the hashtag Arsenal Together. The people nominated, a selection of them will appear in a special mosaic on the website. Thank you so much, Lucy, and wish you all the best.
Great. Have a nice evening.
Thank you, and you too.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hello, Arsenal family. My name is Will Poulter. I first fell in love with the Arsenal in 2001. I would have been about 8, and my brother made sure that I became a fan. Thierry Henry, who kind of was my sort of childhood hero, was the player who stood out most. Watching him do that incredible thing he did, where he would give the keeper the eyes, just curling it into the opposite corner. Watching him do that every single game, it seems. I hope you enjoy tonight, and if you can, please support the work of the Arsenal Foundation. Keep the donations coming in.
Okay, it's time for another guest. It's Arsenal and England star Leah Williamson. Hello, Leah. How are you?
Hi, I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well indeed. Thank you very much. How's your lockdown been?
It's actually been much improved by your Twitter feed, actually. To be honest.
Thank you so much.
No, I'm finding it okay, actually. It's nice to slow down. We're all obviously always going 100 miles an hour, flying here, there, and everywhere. So it's been nice to just sort of stay in one place for a while.
Have you been training throughout? Because am I right in thinking that they finished the season?
Yeah. So we've been training. Sort of taking a good approach at Arsenal. Actually, we've been really focused on staying mentally well, rather than sort of just trying to smash some physical targets. So it's been quite refreshing, but still training until the league was cancelled the other day. So now that news is in, but we still have Champions League, so it's potential that we'll still go back to that.
Well, listen, I wanted to talk to you for a bunch of reasons, but first things first, I believe you are from a proper Arsenal family. Is that right?
I am. My granddad was born in Camden, Arsenal through and through, and it's filtered down. My dad is actually a Spurs fan.
What?
Yeah, so we've got a split family, but I chose the right side.
You did. You're Luke and he's Vader. Which does he come and watch you play?
He does. He's probably my biggest fan, to be honest. But he's never ever since. I mean, I've played for Arsenal since I was 9, and he's never ever said, "Come on, Arsenal." It's just "Come on, Red." That's all he can bring himself to say.
So you do a lot of work for the Arsenal Foundation. You've actually been out to Indonesia to see the work of the Coaching for Life program in Jakarta. Is that right?
To be honest, it's probably one of the best things I've ever done in my life. An opportunity came about to go out there, and I was really encouraged by my manager. We were in pre-season training, but Joe really sort of believed it was the right thing to do to go out there and get that experience. And from a selfish point of view, like I say, it's probably one of the best experiences I've ever had. But to see the difference that we make out there, it's quite remarkable, really. You know, it's one thing hearing it, but to see it, it confirms everything that I hoped about my club. That it's sort of spectacular.
Leah, it's been lovely to have you with us today. Thank you so much, and good luck for next season. And thank you so much for supporting the foundation.
No, thank you. It was lovely to speak to you too.
Okay, so who's up next? Well, if I'm not mistaken, we have quadruple Olympic gold medal winner and national treasure, Sir Mo Farah. We've got a sir. We've got a sir. Hello, Mo. How are you?
Hello, my friend. How are you doing? I'm doing great, thanks.
I'm good, thank you. How's your lockdown been? Have you been homeschooling?
Not at all, mate. I've been keeping them active, running around, playing football.
You've been an Arsenal fan since when?
Yeah, it was a difficult one for me. As growing up, my dad was a massive United fan, so I always felt like home pressure were like United. But young age, you kind of make up your mind which team you like, which player you like. And it was early on as a youngster, and then started really, thinking about what I wanted to do rather than someone else telling me these are the best, and just made up my mind. I was lucky enough to see Ian Wright and Tony Adams, and like I said, such great players over the years, and Aubameyang is another one, Bergkamp, so many of them.
But you've actually trained with the first team squad, is that right?
I have, yeah. I was lucky enough to be able to get invited to train with the first team players and meet them. And for me, I remember first time turning out the ground, just checking out everything and seeing the cars they come in, and just seeing players and thinking, God, that's Thierry Henry. Hold it down. That's Pires. Hold it down. I've just been excited, and the players were really nice to me. Welcomed me into the change room, welcomed me in the way we had food and in the training ground, and kicked around with them, and then went through a talk to Arsene Wenger at the time, and I was just excited. I was like little kid giving like 20 sweets one time, and he's going, ah! That's how I felt.
And I have to ask you, I mean, you are such an Arsenal fan. Is it true that you tried to give your son the middle name Arsenal?
Yeah, it's true. It's 100% true. The missus was not having it. I was just like, look, listen, I've just put his middle name, Arsenal. And she's like, no, you're not doing that. What happens if he doesn't like it? I said, of course he's going to like it. If he's going to fall in love with it. And he loves football. And this is where I'm sitting now. It's my son's room. He's got the changing room on the back here. He's got all the Arsenal stuff. It's got Arsenal bed. It's the whole wallpaper. So for me, it's something that I never really had as a kid. And all I ever wanted is that. So I thought, if I can afford it and give it to my son, and he does love it. And he just wanted to make something special, but just sitting here sometimes and you got the windows closed, you just feel like, you feel like the changing room.
You're excited for the season to restart?
Yeah, I'm really excited, to be honest. Like we've missed the football. Sometimes you don't really appreciate it till something is gone. So I'm just excited to actually watch a bit of football live, not replay, live, and go
live. Exactly. First game back, Man City. What do you think?
It's a big game, but it's all different. I think in these teams and stuff, big clubs like Man City and other teams will go in there thinking, yeah, we're the bigger club, we should win. But I think it all comes down to the players and their mind, and how they can motivate yourself.
Thank you so much, Mo, for joining us today.
You're welcome.
And
Thank you, mate.
stay well and stay safe, and hopefully see you soon.
See you soon, mate. Stay positive. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yo, big up all my Arsenal fans all over the world. You don't know. It's Rapman here. I remember maybe about 1994. Yeah, so we was watching football. I think Sky Sports was doing like a free trial because we couldn't afford Sky Sports at the time. And then Arsenal came on, and I remember seeing this guy score. And my dad was like, yeah, that guy, he lives around here. He lives in this area as well, the same area that we live in. I was like, right, that's crazy. And he kind of looks a bit like me, you know what I'm saying? And he's just killing it on the pitch. And that player turned out to be Ian Wright.
Right, now it's time to catch up with none other than radio and TV host, and more importantly, die-hard Arsenal fan, Roman Kemp. Hello, Roman.
Hello.
How are you?
Hello, mate. Yes, I'm very well. Just absolutely buzzing for June 17th now. I think it feels like Christmas Day is coming. I feel like there needs to be an advent calendar just for football fans.
Do you remember the first time you saw Arsenal?
Arsenal's kind of been in my family. You know, my granddad was an Arsenal fan, you know, and my dad. But my dad always tells this story that when I was a kid, I used to like, for some reason, I think there must have been a kid in my school who used to say that, you know, Liverpool was the best team because they had Mikel Owen and all this type of stuff. And I remember my dad saying to me, like, you're not allowed to buy a Mikel Owen shirt. He goes, you're not doing it. So he stood me on the corner at the Highbury Clock Tower, and we watched the double winners parade. And he put me up on his shoulders and he goes, that's your team. And he goes, look, they're winners. That's your team.
How have you been keeping busy during the pandemic with no football? What have you been up to?
I'm always a fan of watching matches start to finish. You know, old games that I never saw. Like, you know, I was doing I'm a Celebrity back last year, and I missed a lot of matches with Wrighty. Exactly. And I missed a lot of matches, so I've actually got quite a lot of them. But like, I'll end up watching 3 games in a weekend. And I've actually been really enjoying the Bundesliga, to be totally honest. And
well, you are. You've got an Arsenal tattoo, haven't you?
I do, yeah. So this was a funny story. Is that when Wrighty first came into I'm a Celeb, he joined the camp a bit later, and then literally the first time he came in, and I said to him, he literally looked at me, and I pointed down at my leg, and I showed him this. And I was like, mate, you're home.
And have you kept in touch?
Yeah, mate. Do you know what? Like, it's a weird thing. Like, I think coming through this and just seeing that I had Ian Wright's phone number in my phone, I was like, oh my God. I used to have a statue of him.
So you're excited for the season to start again. You think Arsenal are going to absolutely thrash Man City?
City's a tough place to go to, and now there's no fans. So maybe it might play into our favour. Who knows? Maybe,
just maybe. Thank you so much, Roman, for coming on the show. It's lovely to see you. Now, before we introduce our next guest, I was thinking about how much we've been missing Arsenal and just missing football. And I was thinking about some of the strange things we've started doing whilst we wait for football's return. And here is my guy, LV, with a guide to how well he's been coping with no football.
Yo, Arsenal family, it's your boy LV General. Lump it, my brothers don't eat crumpets. Arsenal, I'm simply here to say, please come back. We're missing you. I'm stressing out. The fans are going crazy out here. We're all going nuts. That's the Lamb, Leno, we got the back 4, we move up into CDM, we got Xhaka. CAM, we got Ozil. My 2 star strikers, we got Lacazette and Aubameyang. Chest, men up! Custom is on the left wing, the noodles
is on the left wing with another Newcastle on the other side of him. The one and only Pasta!
Right, we have a very special guest now. It's our captain, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Welcome.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us here today. We've never met, so I'm a little bit nervous because I'm a huge Arsenal fan, but I know everybody will be thrilled that you've been able to join us here on this special evening for the Arsenal Foundation. How are you? How has the pandemic been for you? You're safe and you're well?
Yeah, I'm safe and well. I'm at home with the family. Yeah, I'm feeling well, keeping fit. And yes, this was a bit hard for everyone, but the positive things, I think it's that I was near to my family every day, so that's very good, and yeah, I'm quite okay.
And you've been training throughout the pandemic, or did things stop for a while?
Personally, I worked in my home gym, so it was okay for me to staying fit. And yes, I had my garden with my kids to play some football, so it was okay.
You've scored an awful lot of goals for Arsenal. You've scored, I believe, 61 goals in fewer than 100 games, which is extraordinary. And usually when you score, everybody comes and gives you a big hug.
Yeah.
And everybody's cheering. So have you worked out a goal celebration that you'll do on your own instead of the hug?
I will try some dancing stuff.
And now you've got to sort of psychologically get back into the idea of competitive football again.
Well, it's gonna be, I think, different than before, but for sure, I think everybody is waiting for that. We want to play football. We want to be back on the pitch and play our game and do our work. So everybody is happy already to be back at training with everybody. We're just waiting for the Premier League to start and try to make people happy, winning games and scoring goals and some celebrations as well.
Yes, some socially distanced, safe celebrating.
Yes.
I look forward to seeing what you're going to do. So I mean, Arsenal we're having a good run, and the first game is back against Manchester City away. Do you think it's going to be harder to play them in a stadium with no fans or easier?
I don't know if it will be harder or easier, but for sure, the only thing I know that they are a great team, and it's gonna be hard for sure. We don't expect to be easier because of no fans in the stadium, but we will try our best. And the positive thing that I saw is that all the players in our team are in shape, are feeling well, with a lot of power and a lot of freshness. So they want to play. Everybody is just waiting for the referee to whistle and go. And yes, I think everybody is ready for the Premier League.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're just starting to the beginnings of moving out of lockdown now, and the news that the football's coming back has made everybody really smile again. Now, before you go, because I know you're a very busy man, what is your earliest memory of Arsenal?
My first game, I will remember for all my life for sure, because I came like just a few days before, and I was sick. I remember I lost 5 kilos, so I was really I was really in a bad shape, but I just wanted to play. And when we were to the stadium, I was so happy that the coach put me on the field from the beginning, and then the game went very well, and I scored my first goal. I remember Mickey with the ball, and as usual, I just have to run, and the ball is coming. And then I did the chip, and this was a good moment. My first goal was on the first game, so I was really happy. My family was in the stadium, so I was really happy, even with 5 kilos less. But I was feeling like flying at that day, and yes, it was a good memory.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. on behalf of the Arsenal Foundation. And thanks for being so brilliant and being a wonderful captain. And good luck for the rest of the season. And it's been a pleasure to talk to you.
Aubameyang, 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 doo-doo-doo-doo, Aubameyang, doo-doo-doo-doo, Aubameyang, doo-doo-doo-doo, Arsenal together.
In case you'd forgotten, everything you see tonight is to celebrate the incredible work of the Arsenal Foundation. So please donate if you can. All the info is at arsenal.com/donate. We have another member of the Arsenal family joining us now. I spy YouTuber, entertainer, and sometimes singer, Chunks. Hello, Chunks. How are you?
Very well, thank you. How you doing, man?
Now, you seem to just play games with your mates and chat to footballers. Did you ever think you could make a career out of it?
Never. I'm still confused today, to be honest. I don't know how this is even working. I've just managed to scam my way in it. But it's honestly, it's a dream come true because I've always been an Arsenal fan. And for me now to be able to call some of them friends is crazy.
Today we're asking people, do you remember the first time? And by the way, the first time being the first time you saw Arsenal.
yeah, don't worry. I won't get confused.
Yeah, exactly. What are your earliest memories of watching Arsenal?
I just remember walking into my living room and seeing my dad just shouting at the screen constantly, and I just didn't know what it was for. And then I just remember seeing like the Arsenal team and we went unbeaten. I think I remember seeing it because obviously I'm quite young. I'm born in '96, so I don't remember seeing anything before Thierry Henry, to be honest. So I remember just seeing him on the screen, thinking like I just sat down and I said, you know what, let me just give it a watch. And I remember watching the rest of the game, thinking, all right, cool. You know what, just I like this.
I bet you can't wait to get back to the Emirates. I mean, I don't know when. I mean, I'm excited that football's going to start again, but yeah. I'll be really excited when we can actually go and watch the games.
Yeah, because that's what makes up the game, the atmosphere. Like, there's nothing better than the full stadium and everyone just there screaming when we're on the attack.
Did you ever ring into the radio shows? That's what I like to do on the way back. I like to call into 5 Live and pretend to be someone else.
Do you?
Yeah, why not? Something to do in it when I'm sat in the car.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Yeah, sometimes I've called into 5 Live after the game, and so I've just come from the game. I'd be quite angry and moan about the players, but every single name is of a player that doesn't play for us or doesn't exist. I just make up names. I go, Palmer was no good, Jackson was useless.
And they just get confused.
Yeah, and then they just sort of listen to me, and then they just eventually just go, oh, thank you for calling in. Now, before you go, I want to just do some quick fire questions with you, okay?
Okay.
These are quick fire, quick answers. Here we go. Winning the league at White Hart Lane, winning it at Anfield, or winning it at Old Trafford?
White Hart Lane any day of the week.
You remember when it well, we've done it a couple of times there, but you remember the last time we did it?
I was 7, 8, but I just remember screaming. That's what I remember doing. Me and my dad just hugging each other, rejoicing. But definitely, winning at White Hart Lane because that's the rivals.
Okay, Bergkamp's impossible goal at Newcastle, Wilshere's tiki-taka team goal against Norwich, Giroud's scorpion kick versus Palace.
Jack Wilshere's goal, the best team goal I've seen, like not only from Arsenal, just ever in general.
Last question. Our first match back is Man City away. Do you have a score prediction?
Honestly, because everyone's coming back, so everyone's going to be on the same level of fitness. So it could be anyone's game. So I'm going to say 2-1 Arsenal.
2-1 Arsenal.
Yeah, why
not? I'll be absolutely delighted if that's the case.
Yeah, I'll scream. I'll call 5 Live and say, I love Palmer today. He played excellent.
It's a deal. It's a deal. Thank you so much, Chunks. It was so lovely to meet you, sort of virtually at last, because I love what you do. Yeah. And lots of love. And hopefully one day we'll meet in the flesh. Now it's time to welcome Grime MC, personality, entrepreneur, and fierce gooner, Lethal Bizzle. How are you?
Yeah, it's been interesting times, man. In lockdown, just trying to keep myself busy. Disappointed there's no football on, but yeah, just been doing loads of workouts and just chilling out, trying to stay motivated, basically.
Can you remember your first time?
I actually can. So I'm from Walthamstow, East London, which is a predominantly Tottenham fan base. And
Boo!
And another boo coming up. My dad's a Tottenham fan.
Yes, I heard about this.
Yes, my dad's a Tottenham fan, and he tried to make me a Tottenham fan.
Boo! I'm just going to say boo every time you say Tottenham.
It didn't sit well with me. And like everybody in my area supported Tottenham when I was a kid. And I was just like, I didn't like the colour of their kit. Like I just didn't like them. And then I was a secret Arsenal fan until probably about 9 years old when I actually told my dad, I don't support Spurs. I'm sorry, like I'm Arsenal. And my local community centre done a trip to Highbury for like all the kids. I went into the boardroom.
Yes.
Literally got like a crazy tour of Highbury Stadium. Obviously went on the pitch. I nicked some of the grass as well from the pitch.
Right, I'm actually going to report you to the police.
I don't know where that grass is now.
And do you remember the first time you saw them play?
First time I saw them play was quite later. Was kind of when I started getting my music privileges. I started getting invited to come down. So I remember the last game I went to in Highbury was the last season when we had the Burgundy kit. I think it was the first game of the season. I think it was against Newcastle.
And then, of course, your cousin played for Arsenal.
I'll obviously see him after the games. I'll meet the players. Like I'll see Arsene Wenger. I became a bit of the furniture. I was there every single week, and the stewards knew me. Like the staff knew me. So
yeah, we should explain that Lethal Bizzle's cousin is Emmanuel Frimpong, who became a real cult hero amongst Arsenal fans for his passion for the club. I mean, he was as big an Arsenal fan as anybody that you'd meet in the stands.
He loved them. You know, it's just unfortunate the injuries brought his career to a short end. He could have been, you know, the replacement we needed for like Vieira and that real tough person in the middle. You know, he had so much passion. He would also say he weren't the most skillful, but the passion and determination to like do well for the team. You know, sometimes you can't buy that. And the games he did play, he really did well for us.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and lots of love and luck, and hopefully our paths cross in person.
Definitely. Big fan of your work as well, man. Keep it up.
Thank you. Likewise. Now, before we talk to the next guest, I thought it would be nice to pop back and see how Grime Gran is going on with her baking. Are you there, Grime Gran?
I'm here, Matt, yes. Now, are you ready for this?
Yes, the big reveal.
The big reveal. Right, here we go. There you are.
Oh, lovely. Can you bring it up to the camera a little bit more and we can see? That is an Arsenal. Yeah, just to your. There we go. That's an Arsenal cupcake you've baked.
Not half.
Yes, I'm really salivating now.
Now, I'm glad you are. Now, as soon as lockdown's over, all round for tea and cake.
I can't wait. Thank you so much.
Soon.
Speak soon. Lots of love. Bye-bye.
God bless. Bye.
God bless. Thank you. Bye-bye. Time for another Gooner doing wonderful things to help during this crisis. Joined now by Camden Town Brewery founder, Jasper Cuppage. Have I pronounced that correctly?
Done it better than most, Matt, so thank you. Done me justice there perfectly well.
Excellent. Thank you for joining us. Now, you're a big Arsenal fan, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, as big as you can get, I guess.
You've been doing something really special during the pandemic. Maybe you can explain to our viewers.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we haven't done anything like what a lot of people have been doing. But yeah, we came up with a thing called Heroes. So we renamed our most famous beer. Yeah, there it is. Perfect.
There you go.
One. Thank you. Right on cue there, Matt. I love it.
Camden Heroes.
Camden Heroes, and that's our main beer. And so we rebranded Heroes in respect to our NHS and frontline workers, and then donated it to them so they could email in and collect 6, and we'd send it anywhere in the country. And I think we sent out about 50 or 60,000 6-packs across the country.
Wow.
Or people could buy it for a hero. And I think we raised somewhere between 60 and 100,000 pounds on people buying it and having it sent out to their heroes as well. So yeah, no, it's been fabulous. Really, really well received.
It says, thank you, Lager. I've been saying thank you, Baked Potato. It's nice that people are being polite in the pandemic, isn't it?
Very polite. I have enjoyed. I've got 3 young children, and actually I saw your video when it came out before my kids, and I took it to them and they loved it. It's one of those terribly catching tracks, Matt. I can't say it's one of those things you can't get out of your head, unfortunately. But well done.
Yes, it's an earworm. I'm sorry about that. But thank you so much, Jasper. I know you're a very busy man, but really appreciate you coming online, and congratulations on all you've achieved. Thank you.
Pleasure to you. Thanks ever so much, Matt. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi, Matt, and all of the Arsenal family.
All of us from Arsenal Gay Gooners are sending our love, support and thanks to the amazing Arsenal family for all the extraordinary efforts they have been going to during these difficult times.
Whilst in lockdown, we have had weekly catch-ups and regular fundraisers for Mind Out, a mental health charity.
Whilst it is a shame we won't be able to see Arsenal women play this season, we're excited that we can watch some of the Arsenal family back on the pitch in June.
We send our love, support and solidarity to all of you.
And don't forget, if you can donate to the Arsenal Foundation, please do. We are Arsenal together.
Come on, you Gunners!
Now, I recently heard a story about a family of Arsenal fans who do an awful lot for the community, who've been affected quite badly by the virus. Let's catch up with them and hear their story. Welcome, Mark, Nicholas, and Caroline. Hello there.
Hi, Matt. Hiya.
How are you doing? Where are you today?
So we're at home. We're in Lancing on the south coast in West Sussex.
And Mark, you're a firefighter and a massive Arsenal fan. And Caroline, you're a ward sister. And I believe, Caroline, you became very ill with the virus. And Nicholas, you also tested positive. Is that right?
That's right. So unfortunately, I contracted it whilst at work. I tested positive on the 20th of April. Unfortunately, Nicholas tested positive as well, although thankfully he had minimal symptoms. Unfortunately, I'm still off work for the foreseeable future due to inflamed lungs and still a few symptoms, but I'm a lot better than I was, thankfully.
And so you're resting now at home, but obviously it was a very scary time for you.
Yeah, absolutely terrifying. The first week especially, I had one ambulance trip to my own A&E department because my breathing became quite difficult. Thankfully, there was a little bit of inflammation in the lungs then, but everything else was okay. But no, absolutely terrifying. It's a horrible, horrible virus.
And I heard your colleagues didn't even recognise you when you went in, because nobody could see
when I went in, bearing in mind I know most of the A&E department, and they didn't even recognise me. It was it's awful. And being hard of hearing as well, I wear hearing aids, and you've got to have masks on, and they've all got their visors, and you can't even lip read them, so it was quite difficult communicating as well.
Wow, it's been a really scary time. So Mark, you've been looking after Caroline, obviously looking after Nicholas as well. How's that been?
It's okay. I must admit, it's one of the hardest times of my life when I see my wife go off in an ambulance, and because you can't visit hospital or whatever, you just wonder whether or not you're ever going to see him again, which sounds a bit dramatic, but it is certainly how you feel, especially with how ill Caroline was. So we've had a hard time of it, and that's why I actually contacted Arsenal, which I think would probably, I got a letter from Mikel Arteta for Nicholas because it was his birthday. It was actually on my birthday that I sent the email, because I just said to Caroline, I said, everyone's going through it, but what a birthday. And I thought it's his birthday 8 days later. So I sent an email and cannot believe the response that we got.
Yeah. So Nicholas, what happened on your birthday?
So it was normal. I woke up and I got an email from my mum saying, "Oh, happy birthday, Nicholas." So I immediately ran upstairs knowing that they were awake. And I started opening some cards, and they saved the best till last, the Arsenal one. And I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw it.
And what was it? What arrived?
Got a letter from
Mikel Arteta. Then later, I went into school showing all my friends. Then at lunchtime, I got a video from Papa himself saying happy birthday to me.
Wow.
And it was the highlight of my life.
Wow, that's really sweet.
Oh, hold on, guy.
That's really sweet. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming. Sorry, we've got a technical problem. Sorry, it's not. I don't know if it's recorded. Can our tech guy come
Good evening, family.
Oh, wow, Mikel, hello.
How are you doing?
Good.
Oh, Mikel, thank you so much for sending that letter to my little boy. It's absolutely awesome.
It actually
I'm very touched, but listen to the story. Nicholas, you should be very proud of your mom and your dad.
I am very.
Yeah?
All right.
Are you happy?
We're very.
Yeah,
very happy.
I think he's a bit lost for words, Mikel. But can I just say,
yeah,
we're so touched by everything that Arsenal has done for us. You're a legend to us since you moved to Arsenal, and obviously going off and getting your mentorship from one of the best coaches in the world with Mr. Pep Guardiola. Since you've come back to us, it's awesome. And thank you so much for everything you've done.
Definitely.
Good. I'm really happy to see you all feeling much, much better. Caroline, I'm so glad that you are recovering. I've been through that virus and it's tough. Nico, I hope you look after your mom as well. Don't leave everything to daddy. Okay?
Yeah, thanks for that. I appreciate that.
And please, you are invited. So when we are able to get back playing and with crowds, please come and see us. We will send you an invitation and you can come and get to meet us and come to see one of our games. Yeah?
We're season ticket holders, so we're up there all the time anyway, but we would love that. Thank you, Mikel. That's amazing.
That's
Thank
amazing.
you so much.
Thank you. I got a question.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
What's it like being the Arsenal manager?
Do you want me to answer that, or do you want Mikel to?
Go on. Matt, imagine you are the manager, so go ahead.
Oh, no, I can't even play. I can't kick a ball. I'm dreadful. I'll have to defer to Mr. Arteta to answer that question.
It's such an honor, and I'm really privileged, but it's obviously a lot of responsibility because what you guys deserve for us to deliver, it's really, really big. But I think we are in the right track. There's still a lot of work to do, but we will get there. We will get there. So you've made my day.
Mark and Caroline and Nicholas, thank you so much for joining us. I hope that was a nice surprise.
That was absolutely wonderful. Thank you.
Nicholas, this is your moment. Is there anything you want to say to the boss? Say it now.
That you are a really amazing boss and you're one of the best coaches of Arsenal we've ever had. Keep on going, keep being amazing for Arsenal.
Thank you so much for your support. Okay, stay healthy and see you soon around.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Lots of love and wish you well. Thanks so much.
Matt, thank you.
Oh, how lovely was that? Well, Mikel is going to stay with us. I'm a little bit nervous talking to you, talking to the Arsenal manager. That's it's stressful as an Arsenal fan. Do you find people are more nervous around you now that you're the Arsenal manager?
No, well, in the last 2.5 months, I haven't met anybody from the streets, unfortunately.
Oh, well, that's true.
But no, in general, I am quite relaxed. So hopefully I can make people comfortable while they are talking to me.
Now, I've been asking people how they've been dealing with the pandemic. And obviously, it's well known that you actually tested positive for COVID-19. What happened after that moment?
No, obviously it was very early stages. We had very little information about it. But yeah, I just had some difficulties breathing and some cough. So I let the doctor know and we found out that possibly I had a positive coronavirus test. And then when we find out, we just communicated to the Premier League, communicated to the whole squad. And yeah, I didn't need much treatment, but just for a week or so, I feel a little bit rough, but my immune system was strong, I think.
Yes, well, that's really good to hear. During the pandemic, I guess you were at home like everybody else. Were you doing any homeschooling? How did you fill your time when you weren't doing football-related matters?
I've been doing homeschooling with my players, and my wife is doing homeschooling with my kids. I don't know which one is harder, but I certainly enjoy that because it has given me the opportunity to get to know them much better, personally and professionally as well. And we have been able to create some strong links, you know, and through these difficult moments, we have generated a really good bond between us, not just with myself, but with the whole staff and board members and everybody around the club. So I think we are in a strong position now to restart.
And you've been chatting on these Zoom calls, I take it, and you have the whole squad assembled in some kind of grid. How does that differ from actually being in the room with everybody?
Well, we have experienced today the difficulties of technology, having six people here. So imagine when it's 26 or 28. Some of them, they don't understand the language. Some of them, they don't know how to connect. So it's been a challenge, but I think everybody's been trying hard to get used to those, and they've been really useful.
Your record since taking over as manager has been pretty remarkable. You've only lost 2 of your 16 games in charge. So at the moment when football stopped, it wasn't the best moment for Arsenal for the football to stop, because I think we were in the habit of winning games and putting in great performances thanks to what you've brought to the club. So how do you maintain that in the months when you're not playing football? And not only are you not playing, but you didn't even know when the season was going to restart.
Yeah, as you mentioned, we were in a strong run. I was really happy because we were able to connect as well with our fans, with our supporters. We generated a strong bond as well at the Emirates, something that I think has been lacking the last few months, and they felt certain belief, and we were able to transmit that we wanted to change the situation quickly, and we got everybody on board to buy into that. And after, regarding the play, we had to play the cards with all the information that we were getting from the Premier League, from the government, keep motivating every week. Maybe next week we can do this. Maybe the following week we can do that. And yeah, they've been really good.
And we know roughly when this season is due to finish, but we don't know yet, do we, when the next season will begin? How long, whether you'll have a pre-season, whether it will be much shorter than usual?
I think now we have to start to crawl, then to walk, then to run, then to sprint. And at the moment we are crawling. Step 2, see how this goes. The following week, see if we can maintain all the negative tests like we are doing at the moment. That has been really good so far. Then we have a date to start the Premier League, and let's finish this season. And after that, I think we can talk about the future, because with all the uncertainty and this unprecedented moment, it's very difficult to predict what's going to happen in 3 months.
Well, I can tell you there's a real spring in everyone's step since it was announced that football's coming back. Our first match is back at a place you know very well.
It's going to be a special and a strange day, but I'm looking forward to it.
You see, if the stadium had been packed, I feel sure that both sets of supporters would be giving you the warmest welcome. But you're going to have to imagine that they're there. I mean, what's it like? What's it going to be like playing without the fans there? Does it feel eerie?
The energy that is going to be generated around the stadium. Certainly, they're going to be able to listen to me better than when we have crowds. But yeah, it's going to be important to be able to motivate the players as well, and make sure that they have the right level of energy to play the games like they are used to. But yeah, we have to adapt to that.
And everybody's going to have to watch their language, because I suspect watching at home, we're going to be able to hear what everybody's saying.
And the referees too.
The referees too, actually, that's a very good point. Now we know if the referee is swearing at somebody as well.
Yeah, it will be tricky. There are some things that are going to be different, and we just have to think about them and prepare.
Now, we're asking everybody today to join in with the theme of this evening's show, which is, do you remember your first time? And it might be your first time watching an Arsenal match, your first time playing Arsenal. It might even be your first time managing Arsenal. What are your first time memories?
I have to say, it's the first time when Arsene called me and he said that he wanted me at the club. I was always a big admirer of the club since I was young, because Arsenal back in Spain was probably, with Manchester United, the biggest club. But I always admired the style of play and the way that they play and what they were transmitting. And when Arsenal gave me the opportunity to be here, for me, is the highlights, one of the highlights of my career. And since then, yeah, I became in love with the club, and I have very strong feelings. And now I am so honored to be able to lead as a head coach now this football club.
Well, we are all thrilled as fans that you're at the helm. Thank you for everything you've done as a player and everything you're doing as a coach. And thank you very much for joining us tonight, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much. Good luck to all.
Well, that's all we have time for. Thank you so much for tuning in to Arsenal Together. I want to give all my love to the Arsenal family worldwide, and to everyone who's ever helped with the Arsenal Foundation and any of the amazing community work that the club does. Every penny raised goes to an amazing cause. So please give generously if you can, and the details are on screen now. And now, for the final word, I will leave it to the ultimate Arsenal legend. Up the Gunners!
It's a test who we are as a club, so you can make a little difference, do it. You have an idea, put it together.
In good times and in challenging times, the Arsenal family is never far apart, even when we can't be together in the way we want to be.
Are you well, coping with the lockdown?
Not bad, John. How are you coping with it?
Good morning, Madeline. It's Pat Rice here.
Happy birthday from me, my teammates, and all the club.
Oh my God!
Hey, Mike.
Hiya. Hello.
We're all doing our bit to support each other in our own way, the Arsenal way.
Huge thanks along with the rest of the country for your services at NHS Nightingale. We're so proud of you all.
All NHS staff all across the country who are saving lives, and I just wanted to show my appreciation.
In times like these, it's so important we stay together and reach out to those who need a little help, because together we have the power to do that.
East Lincoln Council and the Arsenal Foundation, they're already doing a great job, and I decided to join them in and help to provide 16,000 meals for people that are struggling.
1.5 million meals that we've redistributed, 10% of them have been from a football club, and you're the football club, and that's really immense.
We stand side by side with our communities around the world, and we'll always find ways to stay connected because we're in this together.
I'm proud to see the Arsenal program in helping building resilience through soccer for kids in slum areas in Jakarta.
We have our legends and our heroes, and now we recognise some more, all selflessly playing the game of your lives, and for that, we salute you. So for now, remember who you are, what you are, and who you represent. And when the time comes for us all to be together again, we'll welcome you home. Because we're Arsenal. Together. Tonight is all about having some fun and bringing people together who share the love for Arsenal. But if you wanted to get even more involved and closer to the Arsenal Foundation's response to COVID-19 in the UK and overseas, if you're in the UK, you can donate £10 by texting Arsenal 10 to 70211. Each text message will cost £10 plus your standard network rate, or £20 by texting Arsenal 20 to 70211. Each text message will cost £20 plus your standard network rate. 100% of your donation will go to the Arsenal Foundation. For more information and full T's and C's, please go to www.arsenal.com/donate. If you're outside the UK or you wish to donate a little bit more, please also visit www.arsenal.com/donate.